A raised voice hits your brain, and in a fraction of a second, something older than language decides you are about to die. Not annoyed, not hurt, dead. A circuit that has kept animals alive for millions of years takes one look at the shouting person in front of you, files them under predator, and does the thing that feels like the most shameful thing about you. It cuts the power to your mouth. You know this. The argument gets loud, and inside you it goes quiet. Not calm quiet, blank quiet. Your throat tightens like a fist closing. Your mind, which had 100 things to say 10 seconds ago, is suddenly a white, empty room. And the other person leans in and says the line that guts you every single time. So you have nothing to say? And you don't. You stand there, mouth not working, watching yourself fail to defend the one thing that matters. And later, everyone agrees on what that meant. You were being cold, you were stonewalling, you shut them out on purpose. Here is the first true thing, and it is a relief, so take it now. That is a lie. You did not choose the silence. You could not have spoken if your life depended on it, and that is not a figure of speech, because as far as your nervous system was concerned, your life kind of did. What you felt was not spite, it was a freeze. Sarah, you are the one who actually knows what this feels like from the inside.
Yeah, and it is so much more physical than people ever give it credit for. It starts in the throat for me, this literal clamp, like a hand closing around my voice. Then the mind goes white, not empty like peaceful. Empty like someone walked in and cut the power. And the cruel part is, you are not calm in there. You are scrambling. You are clawing for a single sentence, any sentence, and the shelf is completely bare. Meanwhile, your face just looks blank and still and cold. And they read that as you not caring. When the truth is, you are drowning behind your own eyes, and there is no way for anyone to see it.
Right. On the outside, stillness. On the inside, a flood. So the body picks the one response that looks the most like indifference and feels the absolute least like it. And that raises the real question. Why would going silent ever keep anything alive? Speaking up is how you win a fight. Staying quiet feels like losing. So why is there a circuit in your skull that does the exact opposite of what you want at the exact moment you need words most? To answer that, you have to stop thinking about arguments and start thinking about being hunted. Because for almost all of history, the scariest thing was not a partner yelling, it was something big deciding you were food. And when that happened, your body had three options, in order: fight it, run from it, or, if you could do neither, go still. Think of a rabbit under the shadow of a hawk. It does not calmly wait. It freezes, heart hammering, utterly still, because in that instant stillness is the smartest bet on the table. Movement catches the eye, noise draws the strike. A predator's whole system is tuned to motion, so becoming a statue can make you almost invisible. Scientists call this tonic immobility, the play-dead reflex. It is ancient, it is everywhere in the animal world, and it is wired into you. So your silence is not you being a bad partner. It is a cornered animal choosing the survival option. Go still, go quiet, do not get killed. The only problem is that the hawk is not real. It is someone who loves you, standing in a kitchen, wanting you to talk. But knowing the reflex exists does not explain the speechlessness. A frozen rabbit still has all its options. You lose specifically the words, the mouth, the argument. Why does the freeze reach up and switch off the one system you would trade anything to keep? Peter, you looked at the actual chain of command here. What is really happening in there?
It is a takeover, Tom, a clean, ruthless one. Deep in the brain, there is a small threat detector called the amygdala. Its entire job is to be faster than thought, to spot danger and act before you have finished understanding it. And when it hears a raised voice, real anger, real volume, it does not stop to check whether this is a debate or a lion. It cannot afford to, so it screams predator, and it seizes the controls. And the first thing it benches is the reasoning part, the prefrontal cortex, the planner, the part that builds sentences and weighs your words. In a calm moment, that part is the boss. Under threat, it gets overruled in a single heartbeat, because a survival circuit does not want a committee meeting when something is trying to eat you. People call this the amygdala hijack. Your thinking brain does not lose the argument. It gets taken offline before the argument even begins.
So the machinery you would use to fight back is not failing. It has been switched off on purpose by a system that outranks it, and that reframes everything. You are not blank because you are slow or dim. You were blank because the smart part of you got benched by the ancient part of you. And it gets more precise, and honestly more haunting than that, because there is one exact spot in the brain that builds speech, a region called Broca's area. It is the factory floor where thoughts get turned into words your mouth can actually say. And here is the finding that anchors this whole thing. When researchers including Bessel van der Kolk scanned people in states of intense threat, Broca's area went dim, its activity dropped, and they gave it a name you will never unhear: speechless terror. The speech factory literally lowers its lights. That is not a mood, and it is not you choosing to withhold. That is the throat closing, the white mind, the mouth that will not open, all of it, one dimmed circuit, measured on a screen. Peter, this is the part that sounds almost cold-blooded when you lay it out.
It is cold-blooded, because survival has to be. When the detector screams predator, it does not negotiate. It benches the reasoning cortex, it cuts the speech line, and it issues one order: go still, go silent, do not get killed. And here is the brutal logic. Talking is a luxury of safety. Arguing your point, defending yourself, finding the perfect words, under a perceived lethal threat, the oldest branch of the nervous system files all of that under later, and it runs the play dead protocol right now. Your silence is not you having nothing to say. It is an ancient defense executing flawlessly, on the wrong target.
On the wrong target. That is the whole tragedy in 4 words. And it explains the last piece, the delayed part that makes people feel most broken. Sarah, the timing of the words is its own kind of cruelty, isn't it?
It really is. Because the words do come, just too late. 2 hours later, in the shower, when it is finally quiet and safe, suddenly the perfect thing to say arrives, fully formed, everything you needed and could not reach. And it is useless now. You end up having the entire argument with the tiles. And underneath all of it is this shame, this quiet certainty that something is wrong with you, that a normal person would have just spoken, when nothing is wrong with you at all. Your factory was dark. It came back online the second the threat was gone. That is not a flaw. That is the system, doing exactly what it was built to do.
And once you know it is a threat system, one last detail snaps into place, the one that confuses people most. Because it is not conflict itself that freezes you. Plenty of people can argue calmly all day. It is the volume, the anger, the raised voice specifically. And that is not random. Loudness and rage are the precise cues the old detector was built to read as predator. A calm, hard conversation, your brain can survive. A shout flips the ancient switch. So the people who freeze the hardest are usually not the weakest. They are the ones whose early homes made loud conflict genuinely dangerous. The circuit got trained young, and it learned its lesson far too well. It is still guarding a smaller version of you from something that used to be real. So the next time it happens, the blank, the clamp, the voice demanding to know why you have nothing to say, you finally know the truth, even if you still cannot say it out loud. You are not cold. You are not a coward shutting someone out. A defense circuit older than the first word ever spoken mistook love for a hunter and did the only thing it knows how to do to keep you alive. It made you still. It made you invisible. It made you quiet. Your silence was never absence, and just naming it as a freeze, instead of a failing, is the thing that finally loosens the grip.